There is a rainforest in Washington, but not the type that typically comes to mind when the term rainforest is mentioned. The Olympic Peninsula is home to the Hoh Rainforest, one of the largest temperate rainforests in the US, and protected by a national park the size of Rhode Island. This national park is also home to the tallest mountain on the peninsula, an array of wildlife, and a vast historical footprint on Washington state. This is one of America's classic outdoor adventures. This is Olympic National Park. Taking a dive into the wilderness of Olympic finds visitors among one of the most unique biomes in the world, the temperate rainforest. Once stretching from southern Oregon up into Alaska, the forests have unfortunately been shrunk from their original size, and now can only be found in a few protected areas. How these biomes even came into existence is unique in itself, requiring not only rain, after all, it is a rainforest, but moderate temperatures unlike their tropical counterparts, plants like mosses and ferns, and lots of trees, some only common within the Pacific Northwest. One of the more popular sections of rainforest is the above-mentioned Hoh Rainforest, being named after the Hoh River, which comes from a native word meaning either fast-moving water or boundary, the river originating from high within the mountains and forming a boundary cutting through the landscape. Walking along a trail or exploring the waterways allows for visitors to be taken in by the lush, moist environment of the park filled with life. It was this serene sensation that most likely first drew humans to the Olympic Peninsula after crossing over the Bering Land Bridge into North America, with the first signs of activity in the area appearing around 12,000 years ago. Over the next few thousand years, the peoples would begin to form into groups, paving the way for the creation of many of the Native American tribes on the peninsula, including the Quinault, Hoh, and the Quileutes, popularized by the teen fiction Twilight series. Today, these tribes, along with 5 others, are in a relationship with the park so that they can continue to practice their beliefs and culture that makes them unique. However, as most history plays out, tragedy struck the tribes as Europeans scrambled to take control of North America, with the first arrival in the area being that of Juan de Fuca, who sailed the many water passages around the region that would eventually become the city of Seattle. A more extensive exploration of the area would be conducted by George Vancouver in 1792, and gold rushes along the northern Pacific coast brought settlers out to the Pacific Northwest by the thousands. By the 1850s, the Washington Territory was established and the cornered tribes were forced to cede their lands to the US government and were moved to small reservations. Their fight to regain the land their ancestors roamed still continues to this day. The first serious dedicated explorations to the interior of the Olympic Peninsula came in 1885 and 1890, where Joseph O'Neill and a crew went on 2 consecutive expeditions into the wilderness, with Mount Olympus being summited by O'Neill on the second trip, ascending Olympus's south peak, Athena. By the end of the 19th century, the Olympic region was earning a name for itself, becoming a forest reserve in 1897, being upgraded to a national forest in 1907, and then becoming a national monument in 1909. During the Great Depression, the Civilian Conservation Corps was sent in to improve the park, and on June 29, 1938, Franklin D. Roosevelt upgraded the national monument to Olympic National Park. We now turn to the park's namesake, the Olympic Mountains. Soaring above the rest is Mount Olympus, not to be confused with the one in Greece, at 7,980 feet. As mentioned earlier, it was first summited in 1890, and continues to be admired by wilderness travelers in the park. The Olympic Mountains, like the Cascade Mountains elsewhere along the Pacific coast, were formed in the ocean and then eventually lifted up to the staggering heights you can see today. Glaciers from the most recent ice age can be seen high on the mountaintops, and their melted brethren have taken on the forms of lakes and coursing rivers at lower elevations. The rivers, lakes, and forests that surround them help to make up the environment that is pure paradise for a national park. Within this environment lies many different types of animals, including important species of fish such as Chinook salmon, nicknamed king salmon, who serve as a food source for many of the creatures at Olympic. This species is listed as threatened, and would have possibly become endangered and gotten very low in numbers had it not been for the removal of dams in the area that were harming the fish's habitat. Also in the waters of Olympic are sea and river otters, several species of sea lion, several species of whale, and a species of dolphin, a very diverse place. On land, visitors can expect to see black bears, deer, elk, and the Olympic marmot, who is part of a scientific survey to keep track of the cute but feisty mammalian population. Washington State is host to 3 beautiful national parks, Mount Rainier, North Cascades, and Olympic, all interesting in their own right. Olympic stands out among them as a place for biological, geological, and historical excellence, showcasing some of the best adventures in the national park system and beyond. Olympic National Park is just one of many national parks, your national parks, waiting to be explored by the next generation of adventure goers. So get out there and experience nature at its finest. Thanks to everyone who has watched our 3 Washington Park videos during our month of Washington. October 2020 showed us how great the Evergreen State can be, and we plan to make more videos on it in the future. Catch you in the next video. Goodbye.